First of all, I just want to say thank you, God. I always start with this because I need to be thankful for the few things I can be thankful for. And I want to make sure that I say that when I can. Because the things I'm thankful for is thank you, God, I didn't just get involved in this thing that has many participants from the most nobody you can imagine to anybody else you can imagine. I'm a target individual, I'm a TI, and I've understood at this point that participant can come in all walks of life. From your regular, just next door neighbor, even some teenage trash that lives around here, to your coworkers, to the president of of your employers, whoever's employing you, the president or executive level, and anything else. And I understood that people participate. Their participation is quite easy. It seems like it's easy to be involved in this. Another target individual have to say the same thing. Sometimes I'm using the same words as the target individual, as in people from all walks of life involving themselves in that. And they also utilize psyops and facades to cover up the obviousness. Sometimes it's insulting, like what you're saying here. It's insulting, it's disgusting, and it just kind of shows what kind of people they are in certain ways. Thinking that the way they present this would change reality, especially when the validation is at that level. Now, for me, most of the time, the participants are, when it comes to where I live, oh my gosh, they are the most childish like individual clowns. They take the task very seriously. They know what they're part of. They know what they're supposed to be doing. And I can tell they really, like, they know their job is to really disorient me. They it's like a life of just no self-respect and pure clownery. For the purpose, obviously, to disorient me enough, to unstabilize me enough, to not see this trash for the trash that they are, to make me internalize this clear manipulation. And it clearly failed. But they're going to stick to that. Listen, the one thing that could be failed here is making me internalize this. That is the only thing that can fail, and they failed that. The rest is understanding that there's really nothing I can do against that, since I understand this is a governmental program that's utilizing human being. I am just a civilian with minimal resources. So, of course, things are going to go the way it's going to go. But these clowns around you, as much as they try to disorient you to think in some other ways, there's some clowns contracted to do that. And their job is to really go through the little fantasize, well, not even fantasy, the little scripts, disorient you and make you internalize this. And unfortunately, if things go left, they'll be the one who become the casualties in this. Not unfortunately, because they know what they're part of. I think, but they are nothing. Like, they truly, I've always said, these are just the bottom feeders the government contract. As much as they try to paint themselves in whatever way, they're nothings. So, when you see this losery around you, and many of us know, they're just the nothings. They know who's behind what's happening to you. You can even tell by the way they even express themselves. You know when somebody wants to make themselves look like they're the big deal, but they're really just nothings, and so they speak a certain way, they talk a certain way, and you realize you are definitely know who's behind this. You just trying to present yourself as that. That's the kind of things with them. Especially there's a lot of this childish like. But with me, I've always made it clear. I know, even though they're nothings, in the sense of what's happening to me, they will be accountable for what they're part of. I will not be the one with sympathy, understanding, oh, these people are nobody, so don't even go there with them. No. They sign up to do this, they enjoy this. They're cowards, low life, who expect target individual who do nothing. That they expect the target individual to do nothing. When in reality, when they join this, they join something where at that point you put yourself in the circumstances. If something happened to you, it's deserving. For any action, there's a reaction. On top of that, you are nothing out. No. But for me, it's been also a psyop of disgustingness, because what they try to present is to make you believe a reality that's so stupid. Is scary. And so a facade, a presentation is presented in front of you. At least initially can work when I should say, when you are still like unaware of what's happening and don't even know these things like target individual. So you deal with all these disgusting things target individual we deal with, especially when you deal with V2K synthetic telepathy. We deal with all this nastiness, and we don't know what's happening. We know we're being manipulated, but we don't understand why is this being why this disgusting manipulation are happening. Who would really come up with these designs of manipulation? Then you realize, oh my gosh, this is what they do to people in this program. This is not even just something they just customized for you. They do this type of tortures to other target individual. This is systematic. Really, you are just one of so many. You are like, you are just another. That they do the same similar tortures and torment, the same concept of torture, psychological torture. Then try to paint it into you, like into internalizing it. And they want you to be as idiotic as you can. And to try to make this idiocy stick, there are people who are supposed to present that idiocy as rational. It's PSYOP 101. For example, for me, just like many other target individuals, they do this disgusting manipulation that many others have said it. You don't need to be a researcher. You don't need to be an analyst. It's just clear. They have easy to see patterns of this pedophilia type of torture. Matter of fact, me saying pedophilia type of torture is not even me coming up with that term. I'm using a term that another target individual, one of the most watched testimonial of a target individual, said it. Not just any one of the Marianne Moritato testimonial as a target individual is perhaps one of the most watched testimonial. She said the pedophilia type of torture. I mean, that's how validating it is. That one of the most watched target individual testimonial mentioned and calls it the pedophilia type of torture. Now, of course, there's others who say similar things. So with me, as another target individual, they expect me to think that they're not doing the same thing they've done to so many, that even the lady, the woman, the target individual who's been probably the most watched testimonial on YouTube. But I should just think that they're not doing that because of what this presentation. And it's disgusting. Listen, one thing I also learned and I understood, there's a lot of participants who are female gender, which of course it makes sense. Perps come in all shapes, all races, all gender, all ages, all culture. Wherever you go, it's global. But they do have tactical aspect of things, of how they present things. They would like to make the target individual believe and discern them into believing this is anything but a massive government. And they have the same things in regard of trying to confuse you. With me, and I just realized they do that to other target individual, is they use the facade that's supposed to make you believe that this manipulation is not manipulation, but you should internalize that. That is a reflection of who you are. It's not them manipulating your brain in that systematic fashion. And I found out too that there's a lot of female participants that it helps with the gaslighting. And thankfully today you can go through a bunch of testimonials throughout the internet, and using ChatGPT they can just kind of synthesize like common similarities with target individuals. So you can ask ChatGPT, okay, what do female TI call out female perps for participating in the gaslighting and try to internalize this manipulation. And yes, it comes up as a very, very common thing that female participants are very much utilized for the gaslighting aspect of things. That their participation is very strongly in the gaslighting. Utilizing professional female perps from the medical field to the psychiatry realm with female perps who then flip things around to try to make the target individual, in this case let's just say a female target individual, internalize this, create a self-assessment in a way that they will try to internalize this. And there's a large, apparently according to ChatGPT, there's a lot of female perps calling out, there's a lot of female participant that is trying to make them accept this, even from even the torturers, even the sexual torture. That the female participants are big in regard of gaslighting, because how you would see a female participant versus a male is different. For example, that's what you're saying here. I'm supposed to think that because this person is of a female gender, and not only just female gender, not only just female, but you can tell that she's more of like how can I say this, liberal leaning person, which is okay because I am. But how can I, like, that's the way she is in this kind of white, intellectual, somewhat young person is enough to make you accept the stupidity and this narrative that they want me to subscribe to. And by the way, as a job, she's a researcher. So I should think that because this white 30s, white female who in her late 30s is in it, I should think that this is not a researcher. It's not a program that, not only research in regard, they research on how to manipulate brains and alter people and change them and break them down, break their identity, but their gender. And they really, there's perps around me who's supposed to be like, no, there's something because look at her. This is, to me, is insultive in other ways. So you think that, and the thing is, if there was a man the same age who was a researcher, they would make me think, oh, this facade would not be able to be pulled off. That's how simplistic they want me to be. And then they send these little retard clowns who think that we have the same level of retardation. For example, if I saw this version by the male version of this person, a researcher, that'd be okay, well, that's the government. But because she looks like that and her gender, no, it's a portal of female and we're not manipulating the brain. Let me tell, there's perps of all races and all gender in this program. There's a bunch. The best part is even male participants think that that's what's going to make me subscribe to this. The entitlement of it all is disgusting. Matter of fact, some of them have said it's our psyop. Start like saying like it's our psyop. You should accept this as not manipulation because it's our psyop. Do you know what psyop is? A psyop is a way to cover up the truth. Using presentation to block what is really happening. And it's so disgusting because in this program there's so many women dying, so many women being tortured, thousands. Children too are being tortured. But the entitlement to say, no, because we look like this, you should think of this a different way. entitlement of the century, discussing trash. And they use this trashy lowlife who thinks then it entitles them to do these things without being accountable for what they're part of. They're nasty. And for me, it gives me rage. Because somehow your gender and your race doesn't make you compromisable just for that. Like, how stupid you want me to be? And researchers, they'll be the first people to want to be involved in a program where human beings are being used as test subjects. Especially with advanced technology that can do all these things to human beings. But your gender negates that. That you're uncompromisable because you look like that. Listen, I'm a proud black person. If you think that's what it takes to cover up the horrible things that you're seeing here, you're delusional. These faces burned and these women dying, suffering, tortured, even claiming there's a lot of female participants, but I guess not female participant that looks like that. It's a different research, I guess, because look at who's involved. Delusional clowns. Some women see so much female participant that they think that this whole thing, these horrible things, inclusive of their sexual torture, is led by women. Now, I know it's led by governmental entities. It's not a gender thing. But they do utilize facades, even gender-based. And they say things like, yeah, what you did, that's not rape. It's like, what you involved? So you think your gender allows you to be involved in a program where they rape women in thousands? And call that war? It's delusion. They got involved in a program that does this evil of atrocious things to women. Think that gender doesn't make them accountable for what they participated in. And then on top of that, as they manipulate me in this disgusting ways, which they manipulate the target visual, they're like, no, but look at us. We won't manipulate that like that. Because we look like this. We will be involved in a program that is known to be this manipulative. In this lawsuit, there is a few target individuals who did even talk about, who even said they're being manipulated. But because they look like this, in a program where thousands of other target individuals say we're being manipulated, women inclusive, in these degrading ways, because you look like that, I should think that they don't do that. They are just mapping, mining without manipulating. You know, they use these words, mapping, mining, in this stupid way. Let me just say this better, because they're playing my words. In this idiotic way. Because in this program, they are mapping your brain so they can manipulate you. They're mapping your brain signals so they can alter you whenever they want you to make you have the experiences they can design for you to experience once they have mined your brain signals, once they have mapped your brain signals. You know, they were so entitled, they're like, at some point they were like, it's map control. Trash. It's so disgusting. Now, of course, I know this is a governmental program that is utilizing human beings. Participant can be from the next door neighbor clowns to, of course, a scientist or researcher that will definitely benefit from being involved in a program where advanced level of technology can do so much to the body and the mind. We talk about controlling minds. They want me to think, our researchers wouldn't want to involve themselves in that because they look like this. And then send these retards around me. This wall of retardation that's supposed to gaslight me. The entitlements. This race-based entitlement. The thing that, because this white lady is involved in this will not be the technology that manipulates the brain because of her. Listen, I saw her on the dating app. But they're like, no, researcher, and she's a white lady. It's like, you see, we're kind of woke like it's trash. Literally, if this person was a male, they couldn't even do that. It is that retarded they want me to be. First of all, I'm not even going to bring that up, but for whoever thinks that gender or even race changes the reality of what's happening, you have to respect yourself and love yourself. And if you think I didn't love myself or respect myself, you're a clown. For the soul of all these white women who've suffered, black women who've suffered, children who've suffered, I'm not going to allow these genders and this cover up, this facade utilized to try to recreate reality. Like, what would a researcher benefit from being involved in a program where they can do all this? Oh no, but look at her. She won't be involved in something where they can alter the brain. Oh, she will have the most fun. Jesus. She'll do it for free. They've done that multiple times. I remember seeing this person in my dating app. She's like, and she was she saw a picture of herself when she was a child, and they're like, I think her occupation. She's like, oh, well, we study memories, to make me think that they don't do the memory manipulation in this program. Like, if you really are in something that studied memories, can you imagine having the opportunity to be involved in something where memory manipulation can be applied? And guess what race and gender was she? Yeah, the one that's non-compromisable. Now, I'm not racist. If anything, I prefer people who are left-leaning. I don't mind being and dating people of different race. But this entitlement that is ingrained in them, and expect me to just let them live their fantasy like that, when there's validation of how bad it is. The level of patterns is crazy. That, for me, they also throw like these professionals, like, who's supposed to be like, oh, the researcher. It doesn't take a researcher to find out that, okay, if in a program where they're known to be painting target individuals as pedophiles, they do the pedophilia type of torture, where they torture children, toddlers, and where they have clowns around me who tell me they're gonna have children play rape victim, that this manipulation will likely be happening at a high level. It is disgusting. And they've made me feel like a genius, because I guess they wanted me to be just so lost in what they're presenting. Target Vigil, look at the obvious things out here, and look at how they still try to cover up. I mean, in the mix of me making this video, the amount of thought manipulation that was happening, they would start making me imagine these things with teens that they're trying to recreate in my mind in this fashion, which they always try to present themselves as the protector of children, instead of what they're doing is pedophilia type of tormenting tactics, and then play the protector of children. So disgusting. Plus, they involve in something that literally harm children. You're gonna hear in this lawsuit. But there's something else they were doing in my mind. Listen, they've been telling me for years now that they're gonna frame me with child porn. That's how nasty it is. And so they've created these thoughts in my mind a while ago, like memories, which is something they do. You're gonna hear men say memory manipulation, where they were making me imagine. I had like a little, at the bank you can get like a safety box, kind of like you can have like a safety box. I don't know what you call that. This it's like where you put your stuff, the important stuff that you need in this. They're making me imagine, oh, you put that. They're trying to make me imagine like putting a USB flash drive, and like, yeah, you were putting that there because there's child porn. When in reality, it sounds like what they're doing is they're gonna frame me by playing child porn in a USB core, in a USB flash drive. And so as I'm cleaning up my place, I saw like a flash drive that I have somewhere there, but it's in a closet that I have here. And I know they've been telling me that they're gonna frame me. Now, let me just say this. I know for a fact that they can easily access my apartment whenever they want. I'm even scared to look at what is the USB cord, because I'm thinking, what if they just put chop on that USB cord and just frame me that way? They're nasty trash. And you're gonna hear there's just the bottom feeders in this whole thing. They're gonna really try to make you think that this is something else but what it is. And then use people like that to be like, oh, you see, because somebody like that is involved, this is not some disgusting things this program is. On top of that, with that, they have the clowns here, which are the wall of fucking disgustingness. They're the little retards. They're so pathetic. It's so sad. Tiger Major stay strong.
Female TI say versus what they do not consistently say. Do female TIs generally claim a high percentage of female perpetrators? Yes. Many female TIs perceive women as highly involved, but not usually as the primary physical aggressors. Their narratives more often describe women as disproportionately involved in gaslighting, normalization, facilitation, and denial of direct violence. This results in strong distrust toward other women, as reported by the TIs themselves. How female TIs describe women's participation, their claims. 1. Women as normalizers rather than attackers. Female TIs often say women minimize or reframe harm as stress, misunderstanding, or internal distress, present calm, professional explanations that close discussion, redirect focus from consent or harm to coping or insight. They frequently say, open quote, men do the damage, women make it disappear, close quote. 2. High visibility in authority and care roles. They report frequent interaction with women in roles such as healthcare and mental health providers, social workers, advocates, case managers, supervisors, HR, educators, shelter or support service staff. Because these roles involve credibility and gatekeeping, female TIs interpret women's responses as decisive. 3. Consensus building. A recurring claim is that multiple women across different settings respond similarly, similar phrasing or logic is repeated. Disagreement by the TI is framed as instability. This creates the belief of, open quote, a female consensus against me, close quote. 4. Procedural and moral gatekeeping. They say women decline to document allegations, discourage escalation for your own good, emphasize.
You're gonna get shot in the face. Sound like an angry ass old person. Then a couple of days later, a female said the same thing. Gonna get shot in the face. Stupid shit like that. But what I really noticed is with the Voice of Skull, it's a bunch of females.
The worst breakdowns, and it's pretty common. I think I can say the word simulated rape and forced orgasm.
You can say anything you want. This is the internet.
Okay. And so simulated orgasms and rape is extremely common, and especially violating for women. They complain about that torture breakdown the most.
What I'm feeling when I went to my doctor, the response was, how do I know you didn't do that to yourself? How do you even address that? I've passed 2 psychological evaluations, not 1, but 2. The one physician said, "You're mentally sound as a bell." He said, "I don't have any idea what's going on with you." When I go to sleep, when I go to try to sleep, I feel like I'm being lit up like a Christmas tree. I feel every cell in my body just bouncing out of my body. I can't even describe it. I get electric shock of my rectum.
Retired security administrator, Ms. McDavid's reputation was used to implement this non-consensual biotechnology application that is being used on me. I now experience involuntary limb movements. I receive stingings. I get pains to my head, to my abdomen, to my vaginal area, and to my anal area.
Yes, here's a filing-grounded, reportive case file summary of Devin Delaney Fraley and HF, with specific places you can verify each point in the accessible appellate petition materials, which reproduce key parts of the operative complaint. I'm going to rely most heavily on the Supreme Court appendix because it includes the relevant complaint excerpts verbatim, including the Fraley HF paragraphs, and is publicly accessible. 1. Where Fraley and HF appear across the litigation record. A district court complaint excerpts in the Supreme Court appendix. The Supreme Court appendix contains the complaint section titled Devin Delaney Fraley and the follow-on paragraphs about HF starting immediately after that heading. B. Fifth Circuit Appeal, March 8, 2024. The Fifth Circuit opinion caption lists Devin Delaney Fraley and HF among the plaintiff's appellants. Notably, it labels JD and LM as a minor, but does not print a minor after HF in that caption line. C. Supreme Court Petition, July 23, 2024. The petition's petitioner list includes Devin Delaney Fraley and then separately lists HF, a minor. It also includes a note explaining that after an amended complaint was filed, the minor daughter of petitioner Fraley was added as a claimant. Number 2, Fraley's allegations, what she claims happened to her. In the complaint excerpt, as reproduced in the appendix, Fraley alleges in substance she was nominated included in a TSDB subcategory, NS McCarthy blacklist, without notice and without an opportunity to rebut. She alleges she has suffered physical, electronic surveillance and organised stalking as part of being targeted. She alleges that around 2016, her targeting increased and she began experiencing artificial tinnitus and V2K continuously. She alleges directed energy weapon DW attacks causing burns, including to her feet and genital area. She alleges the DW attacks caused symptoms she characterizes as indicative of Havana syndrome, described as permanent brain and physical injuries. She alleges social, professional, personal repercussions, including suffering, anxiety, and loss, and requests remedies including removal from the TSDB and damages. That is the core Fraley-specific symptom set and theory as pled in the excerpted complaint text. 3. HF's allegations, what Fraley claims happened to the child. In the same reproduced complaint excerpt, the filing describes HF as Fraley's daughter and a toddler, specifically referred to as 3-year-old. The text uses 3-year-old daughters, but the context is HF as the single minor plaintiff child. The allegations about the child's symptoms are described as, after the filing of the complaint, HF allegedly began showing signs of DVTK, and because she is incapable of verbalizing, Fraley says she inferred symptoms through behavioral changes, including irritability, slamming her head against the floor, extremely high body temperature upon waking, among others. The allegations about ongoing harm include alleged irritability, anguish, sweating, pain, and suffering every day, with asserted unknown damages to the child's developing brain. The allegations about why the child is in the case include the complaint excerpt alleges the defendants added HF to the TSDB in retaliation for her mother being a plaintiff, emphasizing the child's toddler status and asserted lack of any basis for being treated as a threat. Nach 4. procedural posture as it relates to them, how later filings frame it. The Fifth Circuit opinion describes the plaintiffs collectively as alleging being targeted and injured with directed energy weapons and voice-to-skull technology, and it addresses jurisdiction procedural issues around dismissal and preliminary injunction, not individualized facts per plaintiff. The Supreme Court petition reiterates
You do that, you can control them using neuro-linguistic programming techniques. You're rewiring their thought processes and brains. And so this gets into what's called offensive information warfare. And they used it, I believe, in the Gulf War. You can call it a eugenics program even. But also walk them to their, they want to see if they can, hyper game theory. How do you, they want to see if they can manipulate people to do things that are irrational, but also walk them to their death. And so you can call it a eugenics program even. And they need to sample all cultures, language, throughout the world to define their probability matrices of which tricks, techniques, deception works. So how do you control a brain? Most people don't believe that. Well, you can't control me. I have my own free will.
V2K, or voice to skull. This involves the projection of voices, noises, and music directly into my mind to communicate with me in real time and at the speed of thought. And it also includes the manipulation of thoughts, emotions, and perceptions in the person's mind. Additionally, the targeting is all highly perverted and sexual, as well as just
It is dramatic. It's somebody trying to end my life. It's somebody trying to end who I am as a person. It's somebody trying to take over my mind, putting thoughts of pedophilia. This disgusting, disgusting, disgusting things. You saw where I was going with that first word. Disgusting things that I don't even want to talk about because it makes me sick. I don't even like those words in my mind. But it is what it is. So I have no choice now but to acknowledge that there are people in my surroundings or whatever they're doing. I don't know how they do it. I don't care. I don't know if it's through weapons. I don't know. I don't care.
This is a common breakdown tactic of belief systems and the human will. In no-touch torture, the techniques are more psychologically specialized for each target. Most common examples include homosexual targets that are forced with voices that are derogatory to their lifestyle and similar mental images. Almost all targets are forced to view child pornography in their minds. And vice versa.
They use these monarch-style torture programs, like it's based on sex and trauma. So they're gonna traumatize you. They're gonna use your libido to get back at you, and
this technology can be used to sexually manipulate the target. It can make the target feel sexual arousal.
What is referred to as malodorance. This is the alteration of the smell sensation so that I am often made to smell various things, including smoke, burning, dirty diaper, or baby powder, which they sometimes combine with the pedophilia type of torture, including the threat of planted dreams and form of torture. They coordinate the voice. I really mean extreme. I experienced an entire night with forced spontaneous orgasms repeatedly all through the night, one right after another, with maybe around 1 hour of sleep or so, as I lay immobilized in my bed.
TO make you pay for all of the years of torture that I've taken and all you are going to me and my family. Ben said this. The slaves began a program of perversion. First was with my dog. I am very playful with my pet, and suddenly one day that I was petting him I felt strange, in the sense of the word. I thought, this is strange, and then afterwards that strange sensation continue. Then in that moment I realized that was impost, so I thought, look at this losers, don't know how to put me down, and they are doing this. So I told them that I know what you are trying to do, and I started laughing, and then I said again out loud, you'll never take my will, ass. So just to show them that I meant what I said, I kept playing with my dog, and even though that attacks continue, I don't let them get me. Today they continue with the programming of perversion, but this time they are aiming in the use of people, better said young people, also children and homosexuals. When I aggravated them I used able to impose any information on the brain of a person, presumably by some kind of waves, which in the mind take the form of voices, thoughts and images and imagination. In addition to this kind of implanting information that they need, they manipulate the psyche so that the information is written into your memory. Then by stimulating the certain regions in the brain they can retrieve this information and present it as your own memory. This is the conclusion that can be made judging by the influence they have been making on me with their psychotronic weapons, for example artificial thoughts, imagination, and mental torture.
I also often see highly disturbing pornographic images and videos, including highly disturbing pedophilia type of images and videos when I close my eyes.
Be my guess that this person developed delusional disorder. This is a paranoid schizophrenia. But first of all, nobody develops paranoid schizophrenia in the 50s, in their 50s. This is, if you haven't developed it by 30, it's not. Then this technology exists. These nefarious programs exist. And it's hard to imagine for a person that why would you do something like this? But if you think about the new type of warfare,
cognitive warfare.
Exactly. It's a cognitive warfare. You don't have to kill people that you are fighting against. You can just degrade their brain. You can,
you alter their minds.
Yeah, alter their minds.
Personalities.
And it's like Chinese torture. I mean, okay.
Throw these people at them to terrorize. But fusion centers, they really don't have like a statutory authority. They just popped up after 9/11, and that's where a lot of people that have absolutely no idea of civics believe that it's okay. They are told, oh, this person is a terrorist or this person is a pedophile, because that's another thing that they do with targeted individuals. And so they throw these people at them to terrorize and, follow them and just do all sorts of horror, slash their tires, do horrible things,
Thought insertion, memory. Thought insertion, memory manipulation, memory insertion. You feel like your mind and your body is not yours, it's just being controlled by some asshole. Your emotions, everything, and you would see that, street theater, noise campaigns, Voice to Skull, they do a pretty good job of intertwining everything. But to an outsider's point of view, they're just gonna see you as fucking crazy, but I'm here to tell you it's happening. And this program is a slow death torture program Why are we on this program? I still don't know. I have no idea. A lot of smear campaigns. And I'm losing my train of thought right now because I'm just so. You start telling your story to people or whatever, they're not gonna believe you. It's either they're gonna gaslight you or whatever. It's and I'm losing my train of thought right now because I'm just so freaking sleep deprived. I'm probably gonna make more videos, but no, I'm not. I mean, I'm gonna see how it goes with my fiance, and you know, I'll keep you guys posted. And I'm looking for employment in it, but it's so hard to find employment right now. So hard to find a job. And if you do get a job, they mob you. Workplace mobbing, it's common. I know that it's hard to get a job, but once you get a job, you get mobbed. And the problem is, it's so sophisticated that you start telling your story to people. Go to you do the same shit over and over. You know, whatever accomplishment. I'm just going on tangents right now. I have no clear outline. All I know is that I gotta make this video. I gotta send it out because I've been waiting for the right moment to make a video on this topic. But there's never gonna be a right moment. You know. Yeah. All I can say that whoever organization is behind this or whatever criminal governmental organization, it's very, very uniform. Every country you go to, it's the same tactics. That's all I can say. It's very uniform. It's the same tactics everywhere you go. You know, whatever country you go to, you do the same shit over and over. Whatever accomplishments you have, and they'll try and discredit you at everything. Humiliation too. Humiliation. Rituals, whatever. Embarrassment. I have no idea why they do what they do. It's just whatever. And these thoughts, these fucking disgusting ass thoughts. And if you're a target individual, you know what I'm talking about these thoughts that are being fucking inserted into your head. It's disgusting.